Hey, welcome back yet again. I'm gonna try to stay in a nice chipper mood for this video, because we're gonna get real gloomy real quick here. So, yeah, straight to the gloom. So those that don't know about Khashoggi, and I'll apologize in advance, because I'm probably saying his name a little bit off, but I'll say it again, quite wrong. Khashoggi. And that's probably how I'll say it consistently for the rest of the video. But back to, I'm going to abbreviate him, Mr. K. Okay? It's a long name. I'm already tired of saying it. But no, that's disrespectful. Mr. Khashoggi. So, Mr. Jamal Khashoggi was a journalist, and it's hard. It's pretty safe to say that he was assassinated. That's the general consensus. And I'm only giving this a slow amount of time to generate a thumbnail. I'm lazy, you see. YouTube doesn't allow me to put in my own thumbnails until I'm like super popular or whatever. So if I sit here for long enough, it'll generate a thumbnail for the beginning of the video, and then allow me to just seamlessly switch over like so. Now you should be seeing what I see. Cool. I'm still getting the hang of this. You gotta give me some time here. But today was an important day, rather, yesterday, or 4 yesterdays ago. Trump misses Senate deadline to report on Khashoggi killing, and I really need to work on my S's. I'll point them downward from here on out. U.S. President Donald Trump declined to meet a Friday deadline to report to the Senate on whether the White House believes Saudi Prince Mohammed bin Salman, also known as MBS, so they abbreviate his name, thank God, ordered the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. So, I read the full report here, and I'll link it in the description below. This is a person that went personally to Turkey, and there were some things of note that I would like to point out. The first of which is that they didn't get to the consulate until the 15th of October. The murder is supposed to have been on the 2nd of October. That's almost a near 2 weeks until they were able to have access to the consulate. They went on later to say that there were an estimated 4 times that someone had went to clean up evidence, because they, did a full scrape of evidence. And there were, I gotta find it. Here we go. The evidence made available to us thus far indicates that prior to the 15th, up to 4 attempts were made to eliminate forensic evidence from the scene. And to this day, as of, what is it now, the 13th of February, they have still not found Jamal Khashoggi's body. And it's presumed, or I would presume at this point, if they haven't found his body, and I hate to be grim here again, probably isn't a body to find. Yeah, they probably chopped him up into little pieces. I want to go back to something chipper, I really do. Because in me talking about this, I'm kind of aligning myself here with the journalists like Khashoggi. So what I start to wonder, excuse me, in looking into the story, is what did he represent? Like, who is Jamal Khashoggi, and moreover, why? Why would they kill him? Or what is to gain by killing him, and who is the likelier party? Because where did I see it? Here's one interesting quote. Years before the killing, Saudi prince told an aide, likely in confidence, that he would use a bullet on Jamal Khashoggi. This is more of a turn of phrase here. I highly doubt that they used a simple bullet, because again, they haven't found the body. There was supposedly an entire clean team. This full article goes on to say here, there was a body double. Damn. My Control F skills are failing me. They worked really well the first time. Yeah, I will link this down in the description though, and I implore you to look over it when you're in a really good mood, so you can rain down sadness upon it. So, what I found out in looking into who is Jamal Khashoggi, I pulled up the Wikipedia page for him and whatnot, is, do I have his article? I really went down the rabbit hole here. I have to unclose some tabs. Okay, now we're going into some other shit. I digress. I will find it. Oh, here it is. Saudi Arabia bans journalist for criticizing Donald Trump. So in early 2016, this was a journalist that had spoken out not only against conservatism in our side, but in Saudi Arabia too. Because this is a journalist that's spoken out particularly against the Saudis, and I think he was against the Sunni Salafi movement. That's why I have that pulled up there, if you're wondering. So a little bit of a background on him. He was, I guess you could say in one simple line, not a dissident, but a critic, if you will. And after being disbanded from his 5 years, it said he wrote for this place, he went and wrote for the Washington Post, and that, if you're not familiar, has been bought out by Bezos. And they put out a formal response to this killing. What this paints is a world where some powerful person out there can just come down with an iron fist, chop you up into little pieces, send a clean team, deny you access to the building for damn near 2 weeks. Gonna keep PG, but I mean, we're getting into grim murder here. I think we've passed the PG realm. So, going into my conclusion, going back to the lack of response from the Trump team here, and that the first thing that got him kind of in trouble with his first... Have I lost access to the internet? Blast. I have. Well, it is 3 in the morning. This is the time that they do stuff. It was cached. Why would you do that? Come back. Grrr. It really do be like that sometimes, though. So the UN came to their own conclusion since the Trump team and whatever missed their deadline, which brought me to this whole story. The UN investigators conclude that the Saudi officials and MBS himself planned and perpetrated the Khashoggi killing. So that's really all we know so far, is that it was likely an assassination. He was a journalist, an outspoken one, and a prominent one at that, and he was killed likely in broad daylight in what would be considered a public place. This thing puts it quite eloquently here. The tentacles of covert intelligence services are spreading across the world, reminiscent of the Cold War era. That kind of sent chills down my spine when I read it. The international community must take a strong and collective stand against these practices. Such practices breach national sovereignty and amount to violations of international law. So yeah, keeping it straight with the J podcast. I'm going to definitely find something better next time. What we can end on, if I can pull it up in Google real quick here. Jackpot. This was just either today or yesterday. I'm gonna try to, if we ever have something super depressing like this, I'll end it on a joke. Oh right, I don't have internet. Alright, forget it. I'll just read it from the phone here. You can probably Google it. From Global News, lottery winner wears scream mask to hide identity after winning $1.5 million jackpot. If I introduced this at the beginning of the podcast, I would have started it with a "What's up?" But it's the end, so goodbye. This is pretty much it at the J podcast. You should check out this article about the Scream Man, though. It's pretty funny. The very end of it, they talk about a guy who earlier in the week won a $1 check, and he told them, I don't want another ticket. I don't want what they usually give me. I want that written on a big, obnoxious, obscene check. Like I won, like I hit it big, so to speak. And they're like, fine. And they did it. It was a picture of this massive, massive check with $1 on it. But I'll catch you in the next one. If you want real news where I hope I don't get assassinated, subscribe. And maybe you could support it with Patreon. And I go get like a webcam and stuff in the future. It'll be cool. See you later.